This morning, as we come together, let us reflect on a simple but profound truth. Life is the most precious gift we can share. And sometimes that gift is passed on in the most extraordinary way through organ donation. Today we gather not just to talk about organ donation, but also to talk about hope. The hope of giving life where there is struggle, the hope of light where there is darkness, and the hope that each of us can become a channel of God's gift of life for others. How many of us have ever thought about what it truly means to give life to someone even after our own? Today we will learn a little more about this entire process and how each one of us can be a part of this. So to officially begin, I now invite Mrs. Rekha Mendes to kindly deliver the welcome speech.
On behalf of Social Apostolic Animation Team of St. Francis Xavier Church and our parish priest, Reverend Father Anthony Fernandez, we welcome each one of you to this very meaningful session on an awareness talk on organ donation, conducted in collaboration with MOHAN Foundation. On behalf of MOHAN Foundation, we have our own member, Mr. Gabriel Pereira, who has dedicated himself to create awareness and saving countless lives through the noble mission of organ donation. The work of MOHAN Foundation reminds us of the Christian values of selfless giving. For as Jesus said, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." Organ donation is not just an act of charity, but an act of faith, hope, and love. It is a way of continuing life even after our earthly journey is complete. By learning more about it today, we are reminded that we too can become instruments of God's healing and compassion. With that, let us begin this session with open hearts and minds, and may the Holy Spirit guide us to understand the gift of giving life. Thank you, and once again, a very warm welcome to you all.
Thank you, Rekha, for those very impactful words. This morning, we are blessed to have with us Mr. Gabriel Pereira, our resource person. He has been working to spread awareness about organ donation, guiding communities to understand not only the procedure, but also the deep responsibility and hope it carries. To introduce him formally, I call upon Mrs. Vilma Almeida.
We would like to welcome Mr. Gabriel Pereira, born and raised in Goa, is mainly from Asagaon. He has lived in Duler for the past 17 years. He is married to Shalom Pereira, a primary teacher of St. Anthony's High School, Duler. They are blessed with a lovely daughter, Shania Pereira, who is studying at St. Mary's Convent High School. Gabriel is an active volunteer with the Caritas Goa, a branch of the Archdiocese of Goa. He volunteers with the Cancer Awareness Program of Caritas Goa, Can Survive. He was involved with the project CAP, COVID Appropriate Behavior. He is the Vice President of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, SSVP, Duler Conference, and the co-coordinator of the Social Apostolate Cell of St. Francis Xavier Church, Duler, Mapsa. He assisted the Manga Foundation in public interest litigation, PIL, for setting up SOTO, State Organ, Tissues and Transplant Organization in Goa. Now, the past 5 years, he has been associated with MOHAN Foundation as an organ donation ambassador. The reason he's taken this mission to spread the awareness of organ donation is due a kidney failure in the family. As a token of our gratitude, I now request Mr. Marcelin Pereira to kindly present him with a potted plant.
Thank you, Wilma. When we hear facts, we gain knowledge. But when we hear a true lived story, it touches our hearts. Today, we are privileged to meet someone who is a living proof of the power of organ donation. To introduce him, I now invite Mrs. Jasmine Fernandez.
Our today's main speaker will be Mr. Zion Romano, a passionate art enthusiastic with a love for painting and creativity. He has won several college-level art competitions, performed as a skilled fire acrobat, and even judged art events at schools and parishes. Beyond his artistic side, Zion also faced kidney failure from a young age, went through years of dialysis, and later received a life-saving kidney transplant. His journey taught him resilience, hope, and the value of organ donation, which he will share with us today. I kindly request Mrs. Larissa to hand him over with a potted plant, a token of love and appreciation.
Thank you, Jasmine. And now, without further delay, let us welcome our speaker, Mr. Gabriel Pereira, to take over and enlighten us on how organ donation works and how we, as individuals and as a community, can contribute.
I would like to thank parish priest. I guess because of some appointments, he would not be available with us. I would like to thank Social Cell, Pureka Mendes, the entire team, and all the associations of our church, the EXCO, the different cells which are there, for having me give an insight about the concept of organ donation. So as in the introduction it was mentioned that we had a kidney failure in our family. That what motivated me to take up this step or this to spread the mission on organ donation. So I have done around 200 odd organ donation talks, information desks, taken a part in the carnival, no more zone. So end of the day, my orientation doesn't end in this auditorium. You all have to take this mission outside. Tell people this is the way organ donation takes place. A person, a lot of people have a wish of being organ donors. Okay, assumably if I pass away at home, can I donate my organs? Let me put it in that way. Can I donate my organs if I pass away at home? Yes or no, or not sure? Don't know. Louis, what do you say? You said something. Anyone? If I pass away at home, can I donate my organs? One registration is there. Some are saying I don't know. Okay, so we'll try and understand what is the concept of organ donation in this presentation. So a little bit about MOHAN Foundation. MOHAN Foundation is an NGO based in Chennai, and I represent them in Goa. MOHAN is not a name of a person, it's an acronym for Multi-Organ Harvesting Aid Network. All the centers which are mentioned on the screen, they do more than what I do. I just do a drop compared to the other offices or the other centers which are there. I just provide information about the hospitals, why we should say yes to organ donation, what is the procedure, a little bit about the allocation. But in other states we have our transplant coordinators or grief counselors working with the government hospitals or private sectors. But what made me take up this is because my sister-in-law underwent a kidney failure and my wife was a potential donor. At that time, I also didn't know much about organ donation. I lost my parents when I was around 16, 17. My father because of kidney failure, my mother, I guess, because of liver disorder. But at that moment of time, I heard little bit about blood donation. Organ donation cannot icon with none. Even when before this I heard about the terminology about organ donation, but what, how, all those things I was clueless about. But that, made me see like, what I can do for our state of Goa. I sent out mails to a lot of centers or NGOs where I didn't get any response. So I was, I termed myself, I was blessed to land up in this foundation called MOHAN Foundation, gave me the tools or the training to address people about organ donation. So a little bit about the foundation. It is, the mission of the foundation is to give a gift of life to the people suffering from end-stage organ failure. Through what? Through public awareness, training healthcare professionals, and we have a segment also in our foundation called Anudan. We try to help people who are underprivileged, especially children who cannot, raise funds or cannot afford a transport. At the beginning, I put a QR code. Actually, there are some technical glitches in that. Whatever answers you were saying, yes, it's showing a negative or false. But actually, in 1994, Goa was the first state, one of the first states to adopt this policy of organ donation. But sadly, around 25 years to 30 years, we have not achieved anything. We have taken that, okay, Goa will have this policy on organ donation. But we had to file a PIL for SOTO to be established in Goa. Goa would not have a waiting list if the PIL was not filed. So I have summarized the little things, that what we in our family, or we have adapted, we have understood what people could take care of themselves. The organ failure is like a silent tsunami. All of us have heard this tsunami, right? It's nothing, something great, it created a lot of turmoil in the environment and everything. But people can do a little extra mile in taking care of themselves. Like a person who has kidney disease or family with kidney issues, overweight, people who are, individuals who are hypertension or diabetes could go an extra mile. Normally everyone will say, okay, we are diabetes, hypertension, we always go to our doctor for a routine checkup. But they can always take care of themselves a little better. So, the doctors will help them get treatment also better. So what can they do? Do a regular kidney function test to check if their creatinine level is fine. If there are traces of proteins in the urine, people who are hypertension or diabetes should not overlook too much of proteins in the urine. That is not a very good sign. Also swelling of the legs. Our mothers normally, when they are always on their feet, they tend to say, okay, I'm always on my feet. But don't overlook it. If she's a diabetic or hypertension especially, for a prolonged time, go and check. Even if she is losing appetite, or one person loses appetite. Can anyone tell me what's the what is the terminology which is there on the slide? What is a USG? Ultrasound, right? In ultrasound, see, you can do an ultrasound which helps you liver, if you have fatty liver, you have gallbladder stones, if you have kidney stones, an elderly person, prostate enlargement, uterus, if they have fibroids in the uterus. All these can be diagnosed in this. In both the tests, USG abdomen as well as the blood test, it's not more than 2,000 rupees. But why I put this in my slide? Because I do it. I am a diabetic myself. My wife is a hypertension. If we go a little extra mile, it will help us know our organs. So at that moment, it becomes easier to diagnose or get a proper treatment. HbA1c can be done every 3 months to check if your percentage of your sugars are in the right thing. Because I had 2 incidents of kidney stones. One was not so severe. I diagnosed a kidney stone, did my laser, everything was fine. few years back, again I had kidney stones. But this time it was on a little serious note. It was stuck in the utera, so I cannot, my urine from the left kidney was not passing as it should have been. So the doctor said, okay, we'll see, we'll put you on antibiotics till your kidney comes to normalcy, and then we'll do the laser. Because I do this 6 months ultrasound, I came to know about this scenario. Imagine there are people, you know, having kidney stones, they don't know also. In both the cases, normally people say, you know, you get a lot of pain. But in both the issues, incidents, I didn't get a pain at all. No symptoms at all. So because I do my ultrasound, I came to know this. Even eye checkup could be done on a regular basis to check if they have their eye pressure. Because we had an incident in our own complex. One gentleman, I just told him, you can just fill the bottle with water. But all the water was going outside. I said, he said, yes, I can see. I said, probably he might get a pair of glasses, that would be it. But go to see this man had retina bleeding. He didn't know about it. His pressure was 160 by 100. So doctors told, first regulate his pressure and then we'll take care of his eye. But today, by the grace of God and all the medication, the treatment, he's got his eyesight back. So these are the actually pointers which I have put. So let's get back to our topic on organ donation. Can anyone tell me why is India or Goa at the bottom? Why is India or Goa at the bottom? What would be the reason? Awareness? Religious? See, there are a lot of factors. In other countries like the US and Spain, in living donation, anyone could donate to anyone. But in India, a living donation can happen only within the family. Mother, father, brother, sisters could donate. So that's why we emphasize more on the disease part of it. Everyone wants to be an organ donor. But there is a certain criteria to be met that he or she can be an organ donor. If I die at home, can I donate my organs? You always said confused, not sure, no? Yes, okay. So let's see in the couple of slides if we can really donate or not. What does the law say? Can I sell my organs and buy an iPhone? Oh, I want to upgrade my apartment. I am running short of cash. Can I sell my organ? I get a few lakhs. God has given me one kidney dile, no? Ek dile, I can live with one. Can I do that? Yes or no? No. Okay, the law was defined in 1994 to regulate removal and storage and transplantation of human organs and tissues. July 1994, the act was passed. It was in somewhere in 8th of July. So July is always considered as the organ donation awareness month. And 3rd of August, can anyone tell me what is 3rd of August? 3rd of August is one and there is 13th of August. What is 3rd of August? Anyone from the back? Organ donation. Indian or national? Indian or international? International, 3rd I'm saying. 13th is national, yes. So because of, can you tell me why 3rd of August? What would be the reason? 3rd of August was the first heart transplant done in India. It was done in AIIMS with a team of doctors. So Indian government decided actually National Organ Donation Day or Indian Organ Donation Day was somewhere in November. But the Central Minister of Health said we'll commemorate 3rd of August as National Organ Donation Day because the first successful heart transplant was done. Yesterday, before 94, people had to, only the rich could afford a heart transplant. So that's the reason the organ donation is a simple process. Can anyone tell me which are the banks besides your SBI and other Union Bank? Which are the banks which are there? Is there an organ bank? Blood bank is there. Eye bank, blood bank. Organ donation, ma'am says there is an organ donation bank. There is no bank as such. You cannot store the organs in any particular place. It has to be transplanted from A to B. That gives a gift of life to a person. That is a simple process of organ donation. So, there are two ways of death. Circulatory death, Karakoram or because of old age or because of a heart attack. And there is declared brain death or declared death. So, in circulatory death, a person cannot be an organ donor if he passes away at home. They can donate tissues. Body could be donated. So what would be the purpose of donating a body? So the doctors will remove the organs and buy an iPhone or buy an apartment? Is that the reason? Oh, pardon? To study. So in Goa we have quite a few learning hospitals where there are also shortfall of organs or bodies. So tissues, your skin, your eyes come under the category of tissues. So those can be donated. We will have an eye bank set up in Goa Medical College in near future. So cornea donation is the most simplest form of donation. A person passes away at home, they can call the eye bank within a period of 6 hours. The technician will come, take the corneas, take a sample of the blood. So what the family has to do? Elevate the head by putting a couple of pillows. If there is a fan, switch it off, put the AC on and put a gauze on the eyelids. That's it. Till the eye bank technician comes, the retriever the cornea, takes it and puts in the eye bank. On the eyes, yeah. Open, yeah. Just to keep the cornea moist. But the main topic of our day is brainstem death. A person who comes across a road traffic accident. I see a lot of parishioners or even members who are in different cells, wear helmets, but they don't strap it down. Always wear a helmet, strap the helmet. Head injuries, is very severe for the patient and the family also. So people who are, with road traffic accidents, they could be potentially declared brain dead. Person with brain hemorrhage could be declared brain dead. So normally, there is if I come across a road traffic accident, I'm careless, I don't wear a helmet. Someone has come and dashed me, they have taken me to Goa Medical College. They will treat me to save my life. In due course, and then if any surgery is to be done, they will do the surgery and they will put me in a specific place. Can anyone tell me where they will put me? For recovery? Yes, they will put me in ICU. They will check if Gabriel is responding to medical treatment or not eventually. The treating doctor will come to know that Gabriel is not responding to medical treatment. Then he will call another team of 4 doctors to determine if Gabriel is brain dead or not. So specific 2 tests are done 6 hours apart to determine if Gabriel is brain dead. So Gabriel is on the ventilator, declared brain dead, the family gives a consent to organ donation, then only organ donation will take place. If I die at home, I cannot donate because my body and my organs die with me. So I am there in the ICU, my organs are alive. So with a small video, we will try and understand what is brain dead. As as I mentioned, very few people will be fortunate enough to be organ donors. A lot of people have the wish. Xenon has got a new lease of life. That is the power of saying yes. There are a lot of people in Goa who want to see, who have said yes or have the donor card, but consenting is not happening. That is a major problem what we are facing in Goa. Can anyone tell me which are the hospitals in Goa which cater to transplant or license hospitals to do transplant, and which organ do we transplant? Which organ and tissue we transplant in Goa? Pardon? GMC is there. By default, always the first answer is GMC, wherever I go. Pardon? Manipal, okay. I will give you a hint. Amcha Goinso Sahib, we had a 45-day exposition in that area. There is a hospital there. Wow. In fact, I was surprised yesterday when I had an orientation in Agnel Central School. The young children gave me that as the first answer. Normally, always they say GMC, but the children said Healthway. Like, okay. So we have GMC, Healthway, Manipal. Which organ do we transplant in Goa, or which tissue do we transplant in Goa? Multiple or single? Multiple or single? So ma'am is saying multiple. What do you all say? Single. It's either this or that, no? Okay. In Goa, we do only kidney transplant. And in tissues, we do cornea transplant. So there are a lot of people waiting for kidneys in Goa. In Goa, we have around 80 people waiting for kidneys. From there, 64 are active and 16 are inactive. Inactive means if there is a brain death done in Goa Medical College or any hospital, they would not be eligible at that moment of time. But eventually they will be added to the list, making it 80 numbers. So there are so many people, in dialysis there are 1,000 people in Goa. I'm not saying that all the 1,000 people would be benefited with the transplant. But we have to understand and say yes. If we say yes, then okay, these are the parameters you can be met to become organ donors. We have done 41 cornea transplants in our 2 hospitals. In Goa Medical College, Healthway, Manipal, we do kidney transplant. Healthway and AHG, we do cornea transplant. So corneas are procured from the neighboring states. We don't have an eye bank. Hopefully the eye bank starts and people will see the creation of God. We have done 49 living donations in our state. 8 brain deaths have been done. From there 16 have got new kidneys, a new lease of life. 7 livers, 4 hearts, 2 lungs. But as we don't do heart, liver and lung transplantation in Goa, they were allocated outside the state. There are 3 main organizations in our country. From the central, we have NOTO, regional, we have ROTO, and state-wise, we have SOTO. As 94, we have wanted to adapt the policy of organ donation, but sadly, we didn't have SOTO in place. SOTO manages all the waiting list people from the respective hospitals which I mentioned. They do the allocation. If there are no receivers in a particular state, the ROTO comes into place. So in Goa or the western region, we have ROTO which is housed in Bombay, in Maharashtra. And SOTO is in Goa. SOTO also has a segment called Nave Jeevit. They also do organ donation talks like I'm doing. We have a very big target audience in Goa, around 20 lakhs. We don't have multiple organizations catering to this topic. In fact, I was lucky enough to address the 19 deans of our Archdiocese of Goa, which the Cardinal Auxiliary Bishop was there. And today I'm coming down, now I'm going to the deaneries. A lot of work has to be done. I'm grateful to Father Anthony for having me here. It's sad, sometimes some parishes don't invite. It's very disappointing. Because if you don't understand the concept, how are you going to say yes? You might say yes. Okay, because I want to do this thing. How many of you all have donated blood? How many people's life you all are saving when you donate blood? 3 to 4 people's life. In fact, we are going to have one in the month of Feb. keep your vitals good. People can, my number in fact was in the North Goa District Hospital. Now they accept controlled diabetes, controlled hypertension. But when you have thyroid and all, you can't donate. So sadly, I had to remove my name from there. It is A negative. So okay, people can, always say yes for that point of it. But a roto which is there for allocation, if that the heart, liver were not allocated for the state, who allocates it is roto. Roto will allocate to the 5 states which are mentioned on the screen. This is just for us to understand a CT scan of a brain dead or a normal brain person. There is basically no activity. Have you ever touched a dead body? How many of you? Is it warm to the touch or cold? Cold, right? But when the doctor declares a patient brain dead, will he be warm or cold? Why? Pardon? Anyone? Alan, what do you think? No, not very quick. But in the video, the person is in the ICU. It's kept on the ventilator. Heart will arrest in a couple of days. So if we understand the concept of organ donation, that it happens like this, we tell our family, if I have a wish to donate, I have not told my family and friends. At that moment of time, when the person is in the hospital, doctors say he is declared brain dead, it will be difficult to understand. Can I get up from my deathbed and tell my wife, Shalom, please fulfill my wish? Not possible, right? So when we are living, we have to understand and tell our families. If any individual wants to donate, they have to tell their family, okay, this is the process, how it goes. Because, when I have my orientation, sometimes it's 50, 100, 200 people. But whenever you get a chance, tell the people, I will be distributing some flyers eventually about organ donation. Type of donors, living and deceased donors. A person in living can donate a kidney, blood could be donated, a part of the liver also could be donated. In brain dead, you can save 8 people's life and enhance 50 through tissue donation. That is the power of saying yes. No, there is so many people's life have been saved by one yes. See the demand and supply which is mentioned on the slide. In Goa only, forget about what is mentioned here. 80, when I started program 4 years back, it was around 40 on the waiting list. 80 today. Every third day I go on Soto website to see what is the status of it. Every day there are a person waiting or even people not getting an organ pass away. The consenting is the main thing. There is a specific time limit for retrieval of an organ or a tissue. The cornea has around 6 hours, lungs 6, heart has around 4 to 6 hours. Now if there is a heart retrieved, if I am declared brain dead in Goa Medical College, 2 organs are retrieved, other organs are not good to retrieve. My kidney is retrieved and my heart. Heart will go to the nearest state which is closer to a place where it is retrieved from. Like from Goa, it will go to Maharashtra. Closer than that, it will go to Bombay. Because it has a time limit. You can't just keep it for like how kidney has around 48 hours. So there is a specific time limit to be transplanted, the organ to be transplanted. This is a slide, probably this person must have come across a road traffic accident. My humble request, most of our parishioners who are there, people in groups, please wear a helmet. Just don't wear it for the 500 or 1000 rupees fine. Strap it. I always tell the younger generation, but it becomes easier to take care of himself. Probably a grief counselor trying to counsel the family. The organs are packed, going to the next destination. Seen an ambulance on the road? I think everyone, right? But we don't get to see a police vehicle in front. If there is a police vehicle, the Goa traffic police or the Goa police, it could be an organ in the ambulance. The ambulance which is not for the state, like the heart for example, is going outside. it's either going to MOPA or going to double limb. In January, when we had a brain dead, there were 2 green corridors done. One segment went to double limb, one went to MOPA. So whichever airline is going ready for takeoff, the organ is sent on that airline. So there is no time to be wasted. As I mentioned, one person can save 8 people's life and hence 50 through tissue donation. Now whole body donation. There are quite a few hospitals in Goa. Imagine you come, if you are in an educational sector, if you don't have any notebooks or textbooks, how will you learn? Today our doctors who are learning to be MBBS doctors, there is a shortfall of bodies. I help people who want to do willingly body donation. Give the documentation to the anatomy department. We have Goa Medical College, we have one in Dargar, and we have 2 in Shiroda. We accept body. Now in religion point of view, you can finish your mass and then the body, there is no burial and cremation as such. After the rituals, the body goes to the hospital. There is a story of this girl, she had a bus accident in 2016 and in 2017 she underwent a double hand transplant. So let's listen to her testimony and see what she has to say.
Hello, my name is Shreya Sitan Gowder and I am a recipient of bilateral above elbow hand transplantation. I lost both my forearms in a tragic bus accident in 2016. After the accident, I tried to use prosthetic hands, but they didn't help me in any manner. That is when I saw hand transplantation as my last hope. On the early morning of 10th August, I got to see my new forearms for the first time, and I cannot express the amount of happiness or even the amount of gratitude I felt when I saw my new hands for the first time. I think I'm truly blessed that I got this chance of having hands again, and I had accepted them as soon as I saw them. But today it is almost 3 years since my transplantation and I can do most of my work, be it bathing, dressing up, eating, or combing my hair, brushing my teeth, writing my college exams all by myself. So I'm glad and I'm extremely happy that I can do all of these things again. And I just have one message for my donors family, is that this deed that they did of donating their son's organs is really noble, and he is still alive in 7 other people including me, and this hand transplantation has given me a second shot at life, and my donors family are no less than a God's blessing for me as well as my parents. Thank you.
So 2016 she comes across a bus accident, 2025, 17 she got a double hand transplant, 2025 she finishes her MBA. She got a purpose. We are lucky enough to be in this auditorium, in this hall. We can go back to our families. The difficulty what people face when they have dialysis, two or three times a week. In fact, Zanon will share his experience. And the difficulties what they face. If we say only one yes, see, end of the day, I always believe our body is just a vessel. What we have to go to the next is a spirit. So why we are not going to take our baggage there? So if it can come in use for someone, why not? When you donate blood, you are saving so many people's lives. There are transplant games happening at present. In fact, yesterday was the last. This gentleman is a friend of mine, Umesh Davlekar. He is a liver recipient. His sister or mother gave a part of the liver to him. So he is representing India in Germany in in sports. The kidney recipients also have taken. Every year they normally have these games which are there, transplant games as they call it. Kidney recipients also have a new lease of life. They have raised families because of someone saying yes. Heart recipients have taken, as I mentioned, the federation games which are there. But where one can say yes to organ donation. There's a QR code on the screen. You can, I have the donor cards with me. But having a donor card doesn't mean organ donation will take place. It's just for you to understand the, okay, for me to say that people have said yes to organ donation. Also, you can link your Aadhaar card, you get a lovely pledge certificate like how it is mentioned on the screen. There's a nice quote in this slide. Your story ends the day you take your last breath. But what if you pass the baton to someone else for a new beginning, for a new chapter? That's a gift of life. So, MOHAN Foundation, we have a lot of self-development courses where one can browse to our website. There are some professional courses which are there mentioned on the screen where people can take part in this. And there is an interesting movie on YouTube. This movie is very close to our foundation because our country director, they lost their son due to a road traffic accident. And Reti ma'am plays the role of a country director. These are real-time difficulties what are faced by the transplant coordinators in our Goa hospitals. In fact, we have a nurse with us who will give a little insight about what are the challenges or difficulties are faced in our hospitals. It's not only mere saying yes, it's understanding the concept. Because there are a lot of people who think that, okay, Karakode mela jala organ donation zatele mana. It doesn't happen in that. You have to be right in, because I am a diabetic, I don't know, my organs will be good at that moment of time. But I said, okay, Ami kine Korea, we'll do body donation. It is definitely something will be utilized for the state of Goa. Organs so is another mile away, but at least something could be beneficial. So before I end my segment, there is a toll-free number. I will be distributing frequently asked question flyers. I would like to invite Zenon to give his testimony about his experience about from dialysis to getting a new lease of life.
Hi, so I am Zion and I am from Kandolim. So I'll tell you my whole story in short. When I was 7, I discovered I had a kidney problem. I was diagnosed with nephrotic syndrome, which is a rare disease. And I used to have symptoms like swelling of hands, feet, leg, like in my leg, and face, and eyes and all, which used to make it really hard for me to take part in school activities. And I used to often remain absent as well, so it used to affect my academic performance as well. I always wished when I was small, wished I was a normal boy, who could live this normal life. Fast forwarding to 2020, my world shifted in ways I never imagined. I lost my mom, and with that loss, I felt like a part of me also had gone. So to comfort myself, I started drinking and not taking care of my health, eating fast food and all that. And a year ago, I lost my dad as well. Now it's just me and my brother, and I love him a lot. So 4 years ago, something devastating happened. The doctor said I lost my kidneys and basically my kidneys completely failed. And the doctor said I need to go on dialysis. And that time, you had to see me. I was completely broken. I just finished my graduation and I was 23, 24 years. I had this entire life ahead of me. And they said you need to go on dialysis, so I was fully broken. So dialysis, those who don't know, is a process where I should do it 3 times a week, where they remove the blood, they filter it, because the kidneys don't work, then literally the machine is to keep me alive. And I should come home and experience a lot of, body pain, vomiting, fevers, hallucinations at night. I should literally scream. And I used to like go in my room in the corner, shut myself from everyone. And I was like completely broken. And I met a friend of mine who, introduced me to a church community, and through them also my faith increased. And first time, after 6 years, I went for a confession. And yeah, I felt really good. I prayed to God daily, for a miracle to happen. And there's nothing happening. I kept on praying. In fact, I lost many friends as well. But that's the time you realize, who your true friends are in your hardest time. Yeah, I was completely broken. Fast forwarding to now 3 years ago, not 3 years ago, 1 year ago, I was coming back from dialysis and I get a call from GMC and saying, you need to come urgently to check we need to do your blood work. So I was confused and I had this little bit doubt, it might be something, something good. And I thought okay, I'm not taking care of my health, I was still eating out because there was no one to cook. So I used to but yeah, I was hoping, I was like, God, if it's your will, let it be done, And the doctor said, it's a match. And I completely broke down in tears and I was praising to God and the surgery was successful. The post-transplant period was a little tough. But the doctors and the nurses took good care of me, and there were simultaneously, there were even people praying, there was masses offered, and there was a lot of people coming to see me and praying for me, which was I feel really blessed. And I'm very eternally grateful for my donor as well. I never hoped, I thought my life was over, And you can see me right now over here. I thought I would live for another 3-4 years. I kept that much in my mind, thinking okay, that's it. But you can see me, I'm going to work. I'm living a normal life. I can eat good food. I could not drink water also first when I was on dialysis. There was a certain amount of water I had to drink because I could not urinate properly. Now I can do everything. So I'm grateful to God. And this one organ, gave me a new life. So I'm really happy about it. Yeah, I think that's my testimony. Right now, I would like to invite someone who's, close to me, and she's a true professional who serves as a registered nurse in the Goa Medical College. She has experienced and even, experienced the entire, at first hand, my donor. So I'd like to invite Neshka Narona.
My name is Neshka Narona. I'm a nursing officer working at Goa Medical College. I work as an emergency nurse in the intensive care unit, that is the ICU. So the first time I met Zion was actually when we were participating in an organ donation ad film. So we were filming that small ad. And that's the first time I met Zion recently. And when he told me his story for the first time, and he told me this is what happened in the month of Feb, and I could correlate to the patient that I had taken care of, who was a brain dead patient, of course, whose organs, I could pinpoint and I could relate that that was the patient who potentially saved his life. So to see that he was, after what he had gone through and where a few years were ahead of him to live, to see that he got a new life from our whole team taking care of that one complete stranger. So it was very refreshing to see him because it is, let me tell you, like how Sir has said that whether if you die at home, is it possible to give organs even though if you have pledged, if your relative wants? No, it's not possible because when the brain stem of your brain dies, it basically controls the circulation of your body. So when that stops, the circulation stops, the heart stops, the lungs stop, so no oxygen is pumped to your organs. So basically your organs slowly try to shut down, and that's how you go in organ failure and you die. So what people need to understand is that when the patient is brain dead, if you just Google when the patient is brain dead, which part of the brain is affected, they will tell you the brain stem, which is like right here. So when that happens, the patient is actually legally declared dead. So that is the idea that we as Goans, we as Indians need to grasp. If we know that there is no coming back from that, only then you can be open to the idea of organ donation. Because people still think, I have seen in the 2 years I'm working in ICU, I have experienced 3 brain dead patients whose organs were donated. The relatives come and they'll be like, I can still touch the body, it's warm. Okay, and they little kind of hallucinate and they say, we can see this moving, that moving. It is very difficult. But if you already have an idea about it, at that point, I really hope none of you all have to go through this point in your life, but if you all do, if you already have an idea about what organ donation is, what is brain dead, so to give consent with that idea in mind before that, when your brain has already accepted it, will be much, much more easier. Because we here in Goa Medical College struggle to explain to the relatives what is organ donation. So imagine you're already going through that tragic thing, like your most loved person is dead, and then it's like we are literally asking, can you donate, can you donate? We're trying to convince them. So if you already have an idea prior, you already know what is organ donation, it's going to be so much more easier. So yes, so as Sir has said, mostly the problem what happens in organ donation is that mostly the patient is brain dead due to like a tragic circumstance, like an accident. It can also happen due to genetic conditions, even infection. But in the case of infection, the organ also will be infected, so that is not really possible. So not every brain dead patient can donate organs. All right, even when, once we know that the patient is brain dead, obviously the patient is taken to the operation theater if the, if it's possible from the neurosurgeon to operate them. This is what I've seen at least in all the 3 cases. And when it's not possible and we know we have a slight idea patient is brain dead, we start performing all kind of blood tests. Okay, way before we take concern. And every like 2-3 hours we send all the blood tests to check the viability of all the organs. In fact, one nurse is exclusively kept for that brain dead patient. That is how difficult it is to take care of the organs of the brain dead patient. I'm saying organ, I'm emphasizing on organs because the patient is already dead. It's sad, but the patient is already dead. It's just the ventilator and the other medicines that we are giving to keep the patient alive. So once that happens, we are continuously doing all different kind of blood tests, and the neurosurgeon will come, the neurologist will come and perform the brainstem death test for first 1 hour and then in 6 hours. So after that is performed, the patient is officially brain dead, only then we go and we ask the concern. Obviously we cannot take concern and then say, sorry, your relative was not fit. So we make sure all the organs, obviously most of the time all the organs are not really viable, because especially when the patient is on ventilator for a long time, the lungs catch infection and all that stuff can happen. So yes, I remember during his time, I think only kidneys and heart, only 2-3 organs, the patient from whom he got it. So yes, and people have this wrong concept, even in Goa, that there is some kind of benefit, there is some kind of financial benefit to Goa Medical. Something is happening. It's all that thing. They have the very wrong concept. No, nobody is benefiting. Nobody is financially benefiting. In fact, we are giving so much effort to keep these patients' organs alive. We are doing double shift, this and that. It's very difficult. And so yeah, people need to understand that, especially in Goa, all these 3 patients that I have witnessed, very sorry to say, but they were not Goans. I cannot exactly tell who it is because I cannot disclose, but that is how it is. And I think I have witnessed even 1-2 patients where the consent was not given on time, and yeah, then slowly the organ started deteriorating, and even though that patient could have saved a lot of lives, it did not happen. That is the reality of Goa. So yes, so if we can already have an idea about it firsthand, that is the reason why India is still lagging behind, obviously because of our education level, but now we can confidently say Goa is 100% educated. But maybe this organ donation concept is still not grasped. Obviously, because I have been in medical field, I know about it. I knew it even back in school time. So if this idea can be, accepted and well explained to the people that, people still think there's still hope. The patient is still warm, there's still hope. But I'm sorry to say there is no hope. Once the patient is brain dead, patient is dead. Just the organs are alive and you have an opportunity to, it's a selfless giving, to give that will to donate organs. So yes, if you all have that, obviously if you all are fit, obviously everybody cannot donate organs, as I said, how I said one patient's organs kept deteriorating, and even though they gave consent later on, we couldn't procure organs from that patient. So yes, if you all feel you are fit, and if you all, it's obviously God's work, please tell your loved ones, go to this site and pledge for organ donation. You have no idea the amount of lives you can save. Like just imagine those two people had to give consent on time, or maybe even before that when I was working, I do not know. Today instead of in that 80, I think only only 12 people's life is saved, right, in kidney. So many more could have been saved and that list could have got shorter. And yes, in Goa Medical College, as of now, we have only one surgeon who is certified to do kidney transplant. That's the only reason why Goa is doing only kidney transplant. There's no other reason. We are trying, I know the government is trying very hard to train our surgeons in order to do transplant of other organs so that, instead of it going to another state, it can be done in Goa itself. So yeah, so obviously Zion was very, very fortunate. He did not even tell, but he got that call on his birthday day. So yes, it was a gift from God for him. So he was very fortunate that everything was matching. It's a fluke. It's a chance. It's a God's blessing. It was just right time, right place, God's work that he got a new life today. And a lot of people have got a new life. So you all have no idea if you all can actually say yes. I really hope this never happens to anybody wherein your closed one is declared brain dead. But if they do, if you already have this concept, and when the team of SOTO will come to ask you are you willing to donate, you can say yes. Obviously not immediately, but over time, because I have seen we are struggling. We are struggling to keep the patient's organs alive. I will not say patient because the patient is already dead. We are struggling to keep them alive. Give this, give that, full hour clock. A second we don't have to sit, nothing. That is how difficult it is to keep them. And then you're trying to convince the relative. If the relative would give concern on time, it can happen immediately. And obviously the earlier it is, the better the viability of the organ. So yes, and also I would like to say that there are many movies based on organ donation, like the Bollywood movie Sir mentioned, what was the name? I don't know. Ek Zindagi? Aaye Zindagi, and there are also a lot of other English movies. Yes, Traffic. There's Two Hearts, Last Christmas, Beyond Universe. Beautifully they have explained what is organ donation in these movies and how their life changed, So yes, I urge you all to keep your mind open, do your own research on what is organ donation, and live donation. That is the best thing you can give to your loved ones, obviously if you are a match. Because a lot of people still are skeptical, can I live with one kidney? Yes, you can. Obviously you'll have to restrict your alcohol intake, your smoking intake, and dietary intake, but you can definitely live a life with one kidney. So if you have an opportunity to donate your kidney or a part of your liver, liver transplant is not happening in Goa, but still, please do it. Give that chance. You can literally see him. I was crying listening to his testimony. That is how many lives you can save potentially. So please keep an open mind. Do your own research. That is what I would say, because until you do it, until you type and you see, you will never believe it. So do that, keep an open mind, encourage more people, talk about it at home, with your family members, with your children. And yes, still I hope nothing bad happens to any of you all. And please wear helmet, like Sir said, and I would encourage you all to wear full helmet. We wear the small helmets. I'm really not sure what part of the brain is actually getting protected with that. Okay, try to wear a full helmet. No matter how suffocating it is, you will get used to it over time. Really, I'm telling you. And try to wear helmet close to your house, because I have seen people mostly meet with an accident near their house because they have that casual attitude once they enter their village and all that stuff. Tell me if I'm wrong, it's right? So please try to wear full helmet, protect your brain. Because sometimes you might say, you'll see people lying on the floor after accident. There's no blood, there's no bruises, but the patient is dead. You know why? Because this center is dead inside. I have seen that patient also once recently, and which her organs were not viable, yeah. So this can also happen, so please take care of yourself, don't ride rashly, because if I could just go a little off and say that the amount of accidents that I have seen, I mean the patients, you know, from accident I have seen in ICU, young boys especially, girls, it's, you know, husband once fighting at night, going out drinking, next day take out a call, he's in Goa Medical College in GMC struggling for life. He was in coma, I'm not even sure if he's come out from there. So yeah, so please, you have a life, make the best out of it. Thank you.
You know, we have understood today the concept of organ donation. Only few people will be fortunate to be organ donors. So, one yes can save so many people's life. You know, as what ma'am has said, you know, when you are on the artificial life support, there is no extra cost given to the patient's family. There is an allowance given to all these hospitals from the central government to maintain the person on life support. So there is no extra burden as such for the family. But one yes can save, as we have a living testimony in front of us today. In fact, that day, I think you got it on your birthday, right? The brain dead was done and the surgery was done on his birthday. See, God plans, you know, what I've learned also, when you pray, God always gives you the opportunity. You know, we do a lot of social work. We have a lot of ministries in our church. We do a lot of work. But if we can go an extra mile in this, after we go, why not? That's the power of saying yes to organ donation and giving a gift of life to anyone. I would like to thank, before I end, I would like to thank our parish priest. Sadly, Father is not there with us. And Rekha Mendes from the Social Apostolate Cell, all the members of the social cell, and from different groups, and my dear parishioners, for having me here, address you. Please take this message outside. Wherever you all are working, I don't mind coming there. I have gone to even Kepe to give an orientation. I have gone 6 o'clock in the morning from Mapsa. So it doesn't make, area or place, time doesn't make a difference. I have dedicated myself for this mission. So help me. You know, I am nearly 50 years old and today I have understood what is my purpose. Can anyone tell me my name? My name is Gabriel, right? So what was he in the biblical times? Messenger. I am trying to live my name. I am not calling myself as an angel as such. But now I came to know Kirak Maka Gabru Muntar or Gabriel Muntar. You know, that is one purpose. Messenger Muntar. So let us spread the message on organ donation. Thank you. Even a cardinal and an auxiliary bishop. In fact, yesterday I was in a meeting with the auxiliary bishop. You know, they can't go on sending circulars to parishes to have organ donation talks. But as I have to meet 19 deans, there are around 185 schools and parishes. There is a lot of work to be done. If, you know, people channelize me, because Father Jesus has sent mails to all the diocesan schools. Last month, I done around 20 in the month of August, in the month of July. Somewhat the same lines in the month of August. Because thanks to Father Jesus sending out mails to all the diocesan schools. And all the diocesan schools are South Goa, not very few. So I have to travel either from Mapsa to Kepe or to Kankan for giving a talk. For spiritual aspects, all the religious leaders in our church, even the other faiths, we have had orientation with Father Donato, giving a speech to understand what the religion says about it. They have all said yes. The Muslims also have said yes. The Hindus also have said yes. See, I am a Catholic, it becomes easier for me to approach the Catholic point of view. I have to meet the Muslim brothers, the Hindu brothers. So much of work to be done in our state of Goa. As ma'am has said, you know, how much of difficulty has been faced. No doubt, Goa Medical College has around 40 doctors who can do a declaration of brain dead. But they have other activities also. It's not only they're going to do a declaration of brain dead. Trauma cases, planned surgeries, So many things are there in Goa Medical College. So if we have today understood and we are going to take a pledge, this is a donor card. Doesn't mean that we are having this, that organ donation will take place, but it's always like good to keep this in you. Or I know, okay, there are 20 people who would say, or 20 people have said yes to organ donation on the day I had my orientation. So always you all can take this. There are some frequently asked questions, flyers which I will be distributing. These are there's a QR code behind. You can scan and whatever doubts are there are summarized in this thing. But always go on the MOHAN Foundation website, SOTO website. It's user friendly. You can always see how many people are on the waiting list on a given time.
So firstly, I'd like to thank Gabriel, not only for all the insights you shared with us today, but for all that you're selflessly doing in the wider community to help people have the courage to take decisions that can transform lives and to help people find hope. I would also like to thank Mr. Zion and Ms. Neshka for sharing their experiences and their insights with us. On behalf of all of us gathered here, I extend our gratitude to our parish priest for allowing us to have this here, for all the members of the Social Apostolate Cell for organizing this session, for all our speakers who shared their experiences, and for all of you for being here with so much of openness. So I hope that as we return home today, we carry with us not just information, but also a calling to spread awareness, to make informed choices, and to consider how we too can contribute to saving lives. So, maybe there's a reason we don't take our organs to heaven, because heaven knows we need them here. Okay? So thank you all for being present here, and have a lovely day ahead.